you.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay, guys, we are live.
I can see you, Andrew.
Okay, I'm gonna say we are live, guys. Can y'all? I'm gonna put in the chat. Can y'all hear me? Can you guys? And you can see my screen, Andrew and Alan.
Not yet. There's something gone screwy here, so I'm just gonna reconnect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No worries. All right, guys, and let's see. We are live. I'm just gonna double check because I have it streaming on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute as well. Okay, that's and
start 2020.
Okay, I'm just checking if it's all working everywhere. There's commercials. Okay. I think it should be okay. It should be working.
I can see you.
Okay, it's working, and I'm gonna just check the YouTube. Ask them for the. Okay, I'm gonna check Rumble. It should be working. And how many people we have in the chat? We have 3 people in the chat. Because usually my time's at 1 p.m. Pacific time, so some people might be taken aback. But I'm gonna just check. Okay, it's working. Rumble's working, and let's see if BitChute's gonna work, and then I'll close this one.
Start 2025 by supporting free speech.
Okay. Commercials. All right, screen guys. Okay, it's working, and yeah, so I think we are pretty much good to go. And then, but now we lost. Now we lost Andrew Johnson.
Going to reconnect.
Yeah, so we have 4 people in. Okay, so we got a bunch of questions. Well, mainly from Jackson Rip Home. So. Okay, Andrew Johnson joined. Let's go. And then Russell Native, never forget 9/11. Moonchild heard it here first. Let's go. Yep, never forget that indeed. All right. Oh, hi, Andrew.
Hi.
All right. Okay, so we're good to go. I just want to check the audio. I'm asking people in the chat. There's 6 people in the chat right now. Yeah, there's 6 people. It's earlier than my usual time, so. So some people might have their schedule wrong and be like, "What's going on?" All right, yeah, so we have this. I could hear you guys fine. I'll let everybody know. Let us know if there's audio. Otherwise, we're just going to go to the housekeeping and then get straight into the nitty and gritty. But also, you got some questions in the chat from Jackson Rip Holmes. I'll read that later. And let us know if audio or other issues. Okay, 9/11 Visit is in the house, loud and clear. Okay, how's our audio? Is it all level? Because that's the big one. Is even if it's low or loud, as long as it's all the exact same. So you guys want to say hi, Alan and Andrew, just to test that audio?
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, we got it's gonna be an epic stream. So this was Alan's idea. Alan, get the AI and the.
Hey, you guys are the experts on this. My part was to do the book report on the Colossus trilogy, which I gave you in a video, which I hope you'll use.
Yeah, we will play that.
Okay.
Andrew, have you seen the Colossus book that he was talking about?
No, I haven't. I don't know anything about that really. I saw a mention of it, I think, in some of the emails or something, but no, I haven't had a chance to look at that or anything.
Yeah, no worries.
It's one of your countrymen, Andrew, D.F. Jones.
Oh yes,
a British man. Yes, he used to live in nearby Cornwall, I believe. But he wrote a lot of amazing sci-fi.
And is this the Colossus Forbin project that was made into a film?
That's correct. That's the first one.
Right.
And then there were 2 more that came after that, and it's quite a series.
Okay. Yeah, I remember reading something about that. About I forget exactly what that. The first book came out and then it was banned or something, or sidelined or something, or the film also I think that film is difficult to find on streaming services now. Some do.
You can find it though on BitChute and a lot of the other.
It's actually on the Internet Archive. The Forbin project. That's where I found it because I recently watched it with my son. So it is a very interesting film.
Yeah.
It's an unusual film in that it doesn't have a happy ending.
No, it doesn't, and that's just part 1. It gets even crazier after that in part 2 and 3.
Yeah, I haven't read those stories, or I don't think they ever made those into a film or anything, did they? So
no, but I'll tell you, in this day and age, this trilogy would be real dynamite for the box office. I think they could do so much with it.
Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, so Alan made a review of it. We'll play that later as well. He made I think 10-minute review and so on. It was really well done as well, Alan. So yeah,
great.
Yes, we have 10 people in the chat. They said the audio's fine. And then Jeremy Bartlett says, housekeeping, okay to clean, or am I to come back later? Yeah, you can. We're just going to clean the house. But anyways, guys, I'm just going to put this in the chat. This is the link to the links. And did you see that AI thumbnail I made of you guys? Did you guys like that?
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, the one of Andrew looks really great.
Yeah.
I think it seems to have narrowed my head. I look like I don't know. I've got more of a sort of narrow head in that. But,
yeah. I was gonna use the same setup as like the same program that I used the one for Andrew on us, but then ours looked just the same thing, but like just looked too realistic. Like it was just us. Because this one right here, I use pixelgram.io. It's actually part of a crypto project that I'm involved with. It's a startup. We're trying to get.
Oh, really?
We're trying to raise investors for it. So I put it in here, and so on. This one you click create. It's kind of like this one. It converts, like you can convert any image into pixels. So then and then you store those on the blockchain. Like so, then you'll have like actual. So then the actual like photo will all be turned into like little tiny pixels. And then you can actually store that as text as opposed to having like a giant photo.
Wow.
And I'll open up. So that's something we could work on as we get through this. I'm just gonna move some stuff here. 1 second. And the other one I used to just some random 3D one I found online and it changed us. It got the text here properly for the me and Alan. But we look completely different here, but I thought it was pretty cool. So I use this.
We look like brothers.
Yeah.
The likeness of me is terrible, but the one of you is pretty good. No, I'm just kidding.
no, yours is the best one. Someone commented actually on Telegram. They're asking, who are those skulls of? Are they of Richard Gage and does it your show? We'll open that up actually. Okay, now guys, just almost gonna.
What?
Yeah.
Go on, sorry, yeah. I mean, just to those actual skulls of people that I don't know, hopefully people know. But the reason why I'm holding those is a talk being given about the Star Child skull, which was all Lloyd Pye's research. And the one on the left there is it's actually not a real skull. Obviously, the AI makes it look like one, but it's actually just an anatomically accurate model I got from eBay for quite cheaply. And so I use that. You know, when on the few occasions that I do this Star Child talk, I take the anatomically accurate skull, and then I have the mock-up of, well, not the mock-up, but the molding of the Star Child skull to compare. And you can see, you know, people can pick it up and hold it and see the differences. So that's the reason why I have those two skulls. And that was a photo that Dave Hodrian originally took when I did that talk. It would have been 2022. I think I did that talk in Birmingham. And he took that picture, and that's now become an AI image on your AI blockchain thing. So amazing.
Yeah. It's not on the blockchain yet, but it's like that. Okay. That's the software that we're trying to raise money to put it on, like to produce a blockchain, and then basically anyone can go and get any images put on there. Because like have you ever heard of those the new fad NFTs, like the old?
Yes.
Yeah. So
tokens.
Yeah. So the thing with all the blockchains currently, like I think pretty much every single one of them. So when you have an NFT of an image or whatnot, all you actually have is the metadata is on the blockchain, but then the actual photo is not. It's hosted on. Okay, what's that? It's hosted on off chain, like something like IPFS. I can hear myself speaking in one of the.
Somebody else is breaking in.
Oh, I just plugged in headphones. You think that might get? Let me unplug them.
Yeah, I hear you. It's like a lot of static. I don't know what that. Oh, you could mute your mic when we're not talking, but or just keep it. It's fine.
All right, I'll go without him. I
heard you fine. Yeah, can you hear us fine, Alan, or no?
Well, it's my computer here. Sometimes it gives me volume issues, so I can hear you guys, but you're kind of faint. That's why I wanted to do that.
Well, you could try it again if you want, but it's just let's see if
no, it's okay. Yeah. Don't worry about it if it's affecting the sound.
Yeah, I just don't know why the static, because I have headphones on. I don't have an issue, so I don't know what that was. Okay, yeah. So back to the NFT. So the thing is, all the images on the actual blockchain, the NFT ones, those are stored off chain, and all you have is the metadata, and then when you're accessing like a browser or whatever, it just retrieves that image from a different source like IPFS or whatnot. So none of that is on a blockchain. So all you actually own is the metadata. But that the actual image is stored elsewhere. And then this one is going to be like one of the first ones where you'll have everything directly on the blockchain. So like actual images. And so that's the thing. This one is all. This was your image, and then now it's like pixelated, but I also made it XL. So we can actually do a test right now. And what I'll do is I'll throw in your normal one. Here's your normal one. You can see my screen. I'm throwing in.
Yeah, I can see your screen. Yeah.
Actually, I'll because you guys can. I'll share. Here, what I'll do is I'll go to Snippy. Yeah, if I go here, just so you guys see it because it's on my computer. Okay, so this is the original one. There's a Star Child skull, and the file size as well. This one is 1.47 megabytes. So this is 1.47 megabytes.
Okay.
That other one that we just compressed. So now it goes to here. It's transforming. It takes a few steps. So so it was 1.47 megabytes. Right. And now this is going to be this one. Now you can change the size. So now this one is, you can make it very pixelated. So 1.2 kilobytes. So now you've reduced it by like 100,000 fold. Yeah. And then now this is a bit bigger, now 4.7, and this one is really smooth out, 29.31, and it uses AI to help generate the pixel stuff. And it looks a bit. I think it looks a bit different than this one. Actually, this one looks a bit better than this one. Nice. Yeah. So each time's gonna be a bit different. You can see the skulls are a bit different. I really like this one. Yeah. Yeah, you can see that it's
oriented it different. I didn't expect that. It's actually turned it, hasn't it? The right hand one particularly has been turned. Yeah, and it's added a lower jawbone as well, a lower mandible set, which the Star Child doesn't have. Yeah, because it's using AI, so it probably uses whatever human setup is, like human face, stuff like that. And the issue with so this was yours. This is before and after, but then the issue with the Alan's one. It looks exactly like ours. I don't know why it looks exactly like ours, so I'll go to snippet again. Yeah. And I'll just put Alan crop. So here's Alan's, and me and Alan. This is the original one. I got the text right, yeah. So there's that one. And now if we go back, do this again, I'll throw this one in. So this is the one, you throw this inside here, it's gonna be it's gonna be very similar while we wait. Yep. Yeah, so we can, it's gonna take a while. Let's go transforming, 20 seconds. So how did you guys meet? You can tell the story of how you guys met. You've maybe discussed that before with your other live streams, but I can't remember. I think you may have mentioned it, but I can't remember how you guys met up.
Okay.
Well, we hooked up online. I think it was during COVID, the very start. Yeah. And I was really worried about sending out emails. I discovered this talk on Guns and Butter. Bonnie Faulkner on KPFA's Guns and Butter interviewed Michelle Chossudovsky, and he blew the whole COVID thing wide open back in March of 2020. Talked about Event 201. He talked about everything, what they were up to, and I was trying to get this out to everyone. And somehow, on some YouTube site, I found some 9/11 stuff, and there was Matt dealing with a bunch of trolls. And I'd never seen anyone deal with trolls so well. He kept his sense of humor. And he was, he'd say, "You're a troll." And the guy says, "No, I'm not." And then he'd say, "Well, that's the first thing a troll says." And he just kept going, and he was like enjoying, combating the trolls. And trolls drive me crazy. So I reached out to get in touch with him, but I was under an alias at the time. I didn't want to say my real name. And so he got to originally know me as, I can't even remember what the alias was, but I was using the last name of like Frankenstein. Anyhow, finally I told him who I was.
No, and then that was your name. That was your name. Frank Stein, I think. It was Frank Stein.
Yeah, Frank Stein.
Yeah,
Stein.
I didn't realize until years later. Okay, that makes sense. Frankenstein, yeah.
So, and then the very first thing we started talking about COVID, and Matt said, "Yeah, everyone's got the mind virus," because everyone was buying into the PSYOP. So he was one of the very first people that was awake that I was able to talk to, and that's how we got to know each other.
Wow, great, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. And how I came across Andrew was basically I was watching Richard Hall videos after I was doing Pizzagate videos. When that came out, and then I started looking at the Madeleine McCann case. So I was watching Richard Hall videos, and then he had you. Once I saw them, I'm like, Richard Hall is probably one of the best investigative journalists I've seen. So then I decided to watch all of his shows from the beginning, and then I saw some shows with you, Andrew, and then randomly he you guys were talking about UFOs, and then randomly he says, okay, we know this kind of technology exists as discovered by Dr. Judy Wood and Where the Towers Go. And then flashes the book for like 2 seconds, front and back of her. I'm like, what? You can't just drop that in the middle of the UFO thing, because I never came across it. I'm like, well, you can't just drop a giant bomb like that and run away. So then that's when I'm like, all right, I have to reevaluate my life now.
And Andrew and I met actually online years ago, and then because we were both interested in Dr. Wilhelm Reich, and Peter Reich wrote a book called A Book of Dreams, and I had a digital copy at the time that I got to Andrew. So that's how we originally, but then we lost touch for a long time. But yeah.
Oh, right.
So we're all together.
I didn't remember that, Alan. I didn't remember that we'd talked about that.
We were both.
That must have been like 2014, 15 or something like that, was it? A good few years ago.
Gosh, yeah, it might even have been like 2008.
Okay.
It could have been something like that.
Okay.
It could have been well, no, it would have had to have been after Dr. Wood's book came out. So it would have to be what, after 2012, was it?
Yeah, 2020. It was at the end of 2010 when Where Did the Towers Go came out, and right at the end of 2010. So it's 2011, really. Yeah. So it would have been after then, right? Okay. Yeah.
So it'd be 2011 or 2012 when we first started. Yeah. Yeah. My dad was a mechanical engineer at Boeing. And when he saw those airplanes disappear into those towers, the first thing that flashed across his mind was, that's not possible. Mm-hmm. And he saw everyone, just going for it. So he kept his mouth shut because my mother didn't like controversy. But he wanted Dr. Wood's book, when he heard about it. So I got it for him. Yeah.
Wow, great.
No, that's great. And Andrew, you were saying something before about when we were talking about the UFOs and on Richard Hall's show. I think you were about to say something earlier.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think we for those that's a bit of a sort of leap from one thing to another. I'll just say, I know you've covered this quite extensively in many of your podcasts, Matthew, and live streams and so on. Is what really clicked for me was when we found out, or Dr. Wood found out, that Science Applications International Corporation were involved in the production of the technical reports. And when I heard that, I think it might have even been Morgan Reynolds that posted that, actually, and maybe we'll get back to him in a while. I thought, well, what the hell is SAIC doing? I mean, they've been named as a benefactor of the black budget in relation to reverse engineering UFO stuff, or at least acting as consultants or something to UFO related black programs, and there was Stephen Greer that was talking about that. So when I heard that, I thought, well, that right there tells you there is a lineage from the black world, directly into 9/11. Really, I suppose I put it like that.
Yeah, and SAIC, I think they changed their name to Leidos.
Leidos. They split it off. I don't think they changed name. I think they sort of shuffled half or 3/4 of the company, whatever it is, over to the name Leidos, which is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Leidos, as in lie, and DOS.
Well, and also SAIC backwards is CIA.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is the Leidos. I see that commercials or like their ad or their logo on like literally almost like every sports show, like every sporting event, they have Leidos there.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is like if you go watch any NHL game, you're gonna see Leidos on the ice, and it's really really interesting. Yeah. Okay, so so I just want to continue with the housekeeping, and then let's just try to keep on track here. Yeah, so I pretty much sent everything there, and everybody knows the MES links. I throw everything on my Telegram there first before I get to do stuff. And let's see the thumbnail. I put the links here. Okay. Oh yeah, let's just go back to the thumbnail here. Okay, so this is the one that we had before XXL. Oh, this is the updated. Okay, so when I used it before, it looked exactly the same. I think it wasn't working properly. So now here's the actual thing. So that's interesting. So here's before and after. Okay, this is
yours looks good.
Yeah, yours looks like you're about to sell me some drugs or something.
I look like somebody else.
You look like a bit like Peter Tork out of the Monkees, like some,
Yeah, it looks like you're about to sell me some fentanyl. No, it's good. But they got the text wrong there. And it looks like it's part of my shirt or something. Okay. Yeah, so this one converted it was this is over 1 megabyte, 1.25 megabytes, this one, and converted into 35 kilobytes. And that's why the blockchain, the NFTs, they don't actually store that image, because otherwise you're going to have, let's say, 1 million images, all 1 megabyte. So you're going to have like bigger than their entire blockchain size. Okay. Yeah, so okay, that's that. Let's continue. I just want to see what the notes I have here. And let's go. First, I'm gonna go over. This should be a hard refresh. I have some random notes. We'll go over the random notes, and then there's also you have a question from Jackson Riv Holmes, Andrew. Okay, so this one here, I had the poll results last week. So each time I do a poll result, actually before we get to even that, I have the housekeeping here. I'm trying to see what okay. Oh yes, it's right here. So I have a possible big announcement. I'll keep this for later. I ended up actually talking to Dr. Judy Wood for a couple hours earlier this week. And, so she's a very private person, but hopefully if I gain her trust, hopefully I'll get her on the show in the future. But I also, Andrew, remember that 3D print model that I received? Yeah. So that person, he's a geoengineer from Alberta. So he saw my channel, and then he ended up making that from the LiDAR data and sent it to me. And yeah, I told him make one for Judy Wood as well. So so he'll make one for her ASAP.
Oh right, oh very good.
And I think I asked him to make for you guys as well. So Andrew, you might be able to get one as well.
Oh okay, that'll be interesting.
So yeah,
thank you.
So I'll get him to make one for Judy Wood first, and then you'll be next in line. And I was telling him maybe even start like a production line, because a lot of people would be interested in that. Okay, so these I just want to go over the poll results. So last week I made a poll, and it was saying what major PSYOP will occur in 2025. So Andrew, what do you think would be the big PSYOP that's going to happen? The current one, yeah, these are the if you see my screen. So number one was nothing major, just the usual money printing inflation. But then war with Iran is tied with it. So war with Iran and fake alien contact being officially made. That's
I that would get one of my votes, I think. Yeah, weather events are going to be happening again, so they're going to push all of that. They've already started doing that, I think, with the fires in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously there's lots of potential for psychological operations related to the Ukraine, and something to do with the Trump administration coming in. I think they might run some psychological operations related to that, at least in the media, even if there is a change of the way things are done in government with Trump. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so, and what's interesting also, because of those drones, there was like these Republicans are going out on shows and saying that the drones are probably coming from Iranian mothership. And I'm like, have you seen that or no? They actually were talking about Iran. Iran's to blame. And so then I use this with Grok AI on X. So they made it free. So they made their Grok AI free. So I made this. This is a UFO with the Iran flag on it.
Nice.
So that's that. And you can actually ask it right here.
Can you add a caption just underneath that to say, well, we skipped the nuclear program as that wasn't going anywhere. We went straight to our refined sources.
Yeah, they went straight to that. Yeah, that'd be a good one, actually.
We classified it so deeply they couldn't find it, and here's the result.
Yeah. So this one here, I just asked Grok. Have you ever used Grok AI? Any of you guys?
No, I've never used it.
Yeah, no. So it's free on X. It used to be you have to be premium, but now it's free. So I just asked it, make a flying saucer containing the Iran flag flying over the shores of New Jersey. and you can ask it to do other stuff as well. Include the text. What did you say? We skipped over.
We skipped the nuke program or something.
We skipped the nuke program.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah, just leave that.
The top of my head.
Okay, let's see it make it right now live. So there's the cool thing about AI. If you use it as a tool, it's really it can save a lot of time as well.
Here it comes.
Let's see what's gonna happen. We skipped it. There it is. We did it. And why is there a little one?
A flag on it as well.
We skipped the new program.
Yeah, that's classic, guys. That's a great meme.
Yeah, stick it on your Twitter. That
Andrew, you're gonna have to post that meme somewhere.
I might well do it.
Yeah,
Maybe if you could send me a link to that or something.
Yeah, it's all in the all this is in the I could copy link. It's all inside here, but I'll put it in the chat as well. So this what I like about the Skype meet now, this chat remains. It's not like Zoom where the chat's all gone. So you can always go back to this link, and if we ever do a call, we can go back on here as well. So you can see that, and you can test out the stuff on your own there as well. So that was Grok AI. Let's go back into my whatever the notes I have here. Okay. Okay. Then the new poll right here. This is a new poll for the audience because I'm considering doing a weekly or monthly math channel, a math Q&A. It just gets to it helps my brain focus. Anyways, so currently a lot of people saying yes on this poll. Should I start a monthly math easy Q&A? But anyways, I'll save that for another one here. But now we'll get to this question and we'll dive straight into the AI. This question from Jackson Merv Holmes to you, Andrew. Mm-hmm. He put it on here, and I think the answer is obviously going to be a yes. So Jackson Merv Holmes said, "Greetings. A question for Andrew Johnson. Had people not been fooled into thinking 9/11 had been done by the Arabs, we would have avoided 2 wars, Iraq and Afghanistan, given the Israeli genocide in Gaza and Israeli effort to conquer the Middle East is based in part on U.S. European desire for cheaper oil. Do you agree that we can get the word out there's free energy? This could stop the war." Okay. Do you agree with that, Andrew?
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course. I mean, we've talked about that quite a bit. I mean, I've just immediately sort of in response to that, we did a thing back in it's kind of related to what Jackson said there, but perhaps slightly tangentially. But we did this broadcast or we were supposed to do this broadcast in 2007 on the Ambrose Lane show. And at that time, what they were talking about was Al Qaeda having acquired, these nuclear devices, thermonuclear devices from the sort of fall of communism in Russia. And it was Michael Chertoff, who was the head of the Homeland Security at the time, I think, back in 2007. So he was saying, we think Al Qaeda might have got some nukes, and what do you think of that, everyone, and sort of getting people to join their own dots. And then Stephen E. Jones was saying that they might nuke a city and then make it look like was the World Trade Center, because they were talking about nukes having been used at the World Trade Center. So we had Michael Chertoff and Jones and this other guy called Bill Deagle, and I wrote about this in the book, and they were all saying the same thing. So I did this, Dr. Wood and I, we were doing this broadcast with Ambrose Lane, and we were going to say that. We were going to say, look, we know that the World Trade Center was destroyed using a directed energy weapon of some kind, but they make it look like a nuclear device has gone off. And of course, this is what happened. And this started with Ed Ward and Bill Deagle and Stephen Jones. They were all putting all this nonsense out. And then when we wanted to discuss that on the Ambrose Lane program back in 2007, they cancelled his show and we never even got on air. And he was driving his car into the parking space at the radio station to come and do his show. And he was told by his boss that he was being fired, but he couldn't tell him why he was being fired. I cover that in, I think, one of the chapters of, I can't remember which chapter in 9/11, Finding the Truth. So this link between free energy and war, that's what Steve's linking those two aspects together in his question. That's what made me think of that, what I've just told you. So go on next, Matthew.
No, yeah, that's great insight. Yeah, that's I didn't realize it was that like that in depth or that hands on the intelligence agencies have on just that kind of
Seems
talk.
to be.
Yeah, and then and the second question is for Andrew Johnson. I'm working to get the proof of free energy to sympathetic peace leaders like United Nations Antonio Guterres and Francisca Albanese, the Pope, Jill Stein, India, China, Annie Jacobson, Scott Ritter, and Jeffrey Sachs to publish that there is credible evidence of free energy. I believe if U.S. People and European people knew there's free energy, U.S. and Europe will cut off Israel, effectively ending the war. Do you agree?
Well, they would, but I mean, I mean, I appreciate what he's trying to do, but I did see that talk that he gave in front of those committee members. I forget which it was, and I know you, Matthew, had put that in an email.
Yeah, the Coral Gables one he sent.
Right.
In Florida,
now, I mean, as much as I appreciate his efforts, again, you've got to be clear in what you're doing and what you're showing. I know he was talking about some process to do with seawater and cold fusion, and I think he did send me some messages about that. It must have been a couple of years ago, but I think, where we differ in this question is in relation to what you show as evidence for the use of free energy technology. Now, when you mention cold fusion or low energy nuclear reactions, even now, most people say, "Oh, that was debunked back in the 90s." It was shown that they didn't know what they were doing, and stuff. And of course, you and I and Alan and everybody, we know that that's not the case. And people like Bob Greenyer and the Martin Fleischmann Memorial Project have done a lot to show that cold fusion and low energy nuclear reactions are real, and they do produce, under certain circumstances, more energy than you put in. But that's very difficult to convey to people, particularly some of those people that he's mentioned there who don't have a background in physics or chemistry or anything like that. So, I agree with the idea. The Pope, for heaven's sake, he's just, is he even a real person? Is he just some sort of android or a walk-in or a puppet? I don't know. But the Pope, there's all these stories of him being the last Pope and all of this. And you can look at the Cassandra prophecy and all of that stuff. But going back to the question again, we show people what happened to the World Trade Center, and we explain to them, look at this building. Now, to do destruction to a building like that, you would normally need a lot of energy. The energy change, the delta E or delta, I don't know what the generic term for energy is in terms of physics. Maybe you can fill me on that, Matthew. But the delta, the change, delta E, let's call it.
Delta, yeah, it is delta E.
Delta E.
Or just changes energy.
In terms of from the World Trade Center being there to it not being there is huge. It's enormous. And there was no obvious mechanism that was visible to us to produce that delta E. There was no obvious mechanism. And if you read Dr. Wood's book, you'll see that there is a way in which that delta E kind of appeared through the use of things like charge clusters and Ken Shoulder's research and the work of John Hutchison. That's why that was shown that with John Hutchison's research, you've got a massive delta E relative to the amount of energy he's using in his experiments. So that is what we should be trying to describe to people. And it's still hard enough because you've got that very concept of delta E. Some people won't have a clue what you're talking about, even though it's fairly simple. And then you've got the trauma of the destruction of the World Trade Center, which people just don't, particularly in the US, they don't want to talk about that, just like they don't want to talk about. It's like I had this thing about talking to dark journalists and how dark journalists, that's Daniel List, he won't fully embrace Dr. Judy Wood's research, and he won't talk about the Apollo hoax. And I think those two psyops in particular are really hard for the US, people in the US to kind of talk about candidly. They really just would rather not just actually even consider it because, one for positive reasons and one for negative reasons. They don't want to say, well, this fantastic technical achievement was all a hoax. They don't want to say that this horrible, attack of quote unquote terrorists really wasn't terrorists at all, other than perhaps elements of the US military industrial complex. So a long answer, Jackson, but I hope you can see where I'm coming from.
I agree most of that, but what I do like is Jackson's his aggressive stance to get this out there to a lot of people. Because even if these people aren't responsive to it, like him showing at the Coral Gables literally the Hutchison effect to a bunch of people, and also calling them and just getting it out there because these questions should be what everyone should be asking every politician or influencer. Yeah. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if they're robots or cyborgs, like the puppies. That's the question. Like, if people are trying to get your votes, be like, all right, what's your take on 9/11? All right, you're not gonna get my vote otherwise. So I do like that. Just getting it into the ether as well. Like, my view is even if you're getting it out, even if you're by yourself, just yelling it out to the sky. My view is the ether will it will reverberate everywhere and so on. That's my take on that. So yes, so Jackson. So yeah, just keep it up. Just try to be a bit just more clear in how you describe some of the stuff, like especially the heavy seawater. If you can get some documentation alongside with your talk on that, as opposed to just telling him we'll try this and that, because again, you have to realize a lot of people are literally in a different reality. They view reality completely differently, such that the conspiracy people are the crazy ones. Like they literally think we should, in some parts, we should be in jail. Like that. That's how it was during COVID, which was absolutely ridiculous. So yes, basically keep it up but be a bit more careful. All right, let's continue. Now we'll get back into this stuff here. So this is, I think we could start off with Alan Forrest's review of 1966 Colossus book. So we could try this, unless you guys want something else. I'm gonna go right here. So on my Telegram, I could just search it here. 1 second. Okay, I gotta go here. Okay. So this is the review here. We could play this. It's 11 minutes. I think it'd be pretty good because it's Alan lays it out pretty well. So this is a 1966 Colossus book and trilogy about U.S. and Russian AI supercomputers working together to take complete control of humanity. And it became a film, and the film, this was in 1966. Also interesting, 1966. Rearrange that as 666. And it's pretty much describing what's happening currently now with the AI, at least in terms of the mainstream stuff. And also, Colossus was adapted as a feature film, Colossus: The Forbidden Fraud Project in 1970. So we'll play this, and you guys in the audience let me know your chat. And also, Sax17, this is on the chat from Rumble, says, how do from a freezer, Lancashire? So Lancashire, I think that's UK. Is that near where you are, Andrew, or...?
Yeah, it's not too far away. It's Lancashire's the county in which I went to university. I went to university in Lancaster, so that's in Lancashire. Yeah, so it's about from here where I am now. It's about 60, 70 miles. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other question I have is so Bob Greener, have you seen the replication attempt he did of the Hutchison effect, the recent one he did?
Actually, no, I haven't. So I need to check that out.
But have you heard about that one? No, or no? He had a.
No, I don't think. I get quite a lot of emails from him, and I don't read them all. So unless it was, I don't know what the title was. It maybe wasn't an obvious title.
Oh yeah, it was literally. I think it was 4 weeks ago. World's first independent attempt at a Hutchison effect replication.
Oh yeah, I haven't. Yeah, it said attempt, so I didn't. Yeah, I didn't look at that.
But it was a full live, like it was a live stream, and they had a whole setup, and they were doing the setup. And I sent it to John Hutchison, so John Hutchison was watching as well. And I'm not sure, where is Bob Greener doing this experiment again? Or do you know where he...
Yeah, really.
Is he in the UK as well? Or is he in America?
He's based... He's from the UK, but he's based in the Czech Republic.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And I think, if it's what I think it is, now there was a group, I think, in Germany that bought a lot of John's equipment.
Yeah.
And they bought his old lab, which you're probably familiar. And so I suspect that it's there, but I'll need to check that out.
Yeah, because Bob Greener actually, so they're gonna attempt to replicate it again this year, and Bob said he'll pay for John Hutchison his travel fees to go there, and John Hutchison wants me to go there as well, so so if John's going, I'll be there as well.
Oh great, yeah, maybe I'll make it over wherever it is if it's not too far away. Yeah,
because me and John are like best friends now.
Great.
Yeah, John is a hilarious guy. Okay, so
right, yeah.
So going there, and then then they had a follow up of saying any possible effects, and I think they did make one effect, and I made a post about this. So they discussed about this. Let me go to. They had a review, and then they were discussing on one possible effects that they had here in one of their live ones. Camera 2, I think they had a video on there, but I posted right here, replication. I'm going to go to, let's see if I can open this up, my Telegram on the web. I'm using the web just so you guys can easily see replication. So this one here, what I did was, so in Bob Greener's effects, they didn't find anything directly, except there was these pliers that right after that their testing, it was like 4 hours. So the whole test was 4 hours, and minutes after they were done. So in Bob Greener's review video of the Hutchison effect replication livestream, he mentioned that minutes after the experiment, his steel pliers split apart, as well as 2 laptops malfunctioning. So that's what he was describing, and this is what happened to his pliers. So he said he just went in and tried to do it, and it broke in half, and he had no suspicion that this would break beforehand, and then what's interesting is. So John Hutchison and his wife Nancy, they gave me, I'm not sure if you've seen my video on it, they gave me 3 terabyte hard drive of the Hutchison effect. Have you seen? I made a live stream on it. They gave me 3 terabytes of like all the raw unedited one. So I've been uploading like literally hours and hours. Like I've already uploaded like over 12 hours, and I would also do is a time lapse of them. And this one here I found, which is very interesting. To this one here. So this right here is some steel scissors, and you can see they split apart right here. I zoom in, you see that arrow, and now this splits apart right there. So it reminded me very, very similar of, this is a Hutchison effect. Yeah. And it's just very similar crack over there. Zoom in again, and then I think I have some more. Yeah. And this one is also moving here as well, a bit. Let's see if it's moving a bit faster.
All right, turn the.
So if you haven't seen this one right here, so I have Hutchison. If you go to mes.fm/Hutchison, I also paid for a cloud storage, so I took their 3 terabyte hard drive, and I uploaded everything to the. So I also paid for 5 terabytes on Google Drive. So I store everything here, so you can actually go and have a look through it. It's just mes.fm/Hutchison, and then you can see like. Basically, a lot of the Hutchison stuff that you see online, that's like literally like 10% of it. There's a whole bunch of never before seen. I'm working currently on, I think 1988 and 1989. He has a lot of the dates are wrong on this. Whoever uploaded them, and I also make some notes on them. But anyways, and these are the raw unedited. So like each one of these are like 20 gigabytes. So I had to upload on YouTube. I got to compress them all and so on. And it took me like literally a couple weeks just to get these all on there properly.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Initially, I had them on Dropbox, except on Dropbox, I got an error notification once I uploaded them and I did a live stream. It says that I was getting too much downloads, so they had to restrict my Dropbox. So I literally got an error saying Dropbox. Then people were saying they can't view the thing, and you can view them all online too as well. Oh, some of them you could view online. See this. Some of them you don't need to download. Yeah, like here, 3 hours right here of 1989 footage, and I have to go through and sort them all out. But you can see some of this. It's just again, it's like 20 gigabytes. So to get it to buffer, it's very, very slow on this. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. But anyways, so that's that part, and then the other one is my Hutchison effect live stream. My playlist. So I have a playlist right here. And I've been working on it. So one of them is, for example, 6 hours of rare 2007 footage. I have 5 hours of rare 2006 footage. What I try to do is I try to get all of them on in their unedited form so that people can review them themselves. And then I made a live stream going deep diving into this. And I also toured his lab. I'm not sure if you've seen it. I visited John's in November.
Oh, great. And
I videotaped him. So there's me and John. I had to use my phone, and there's no reception inside his lab. So his friend let me use a hotspot on his phone. So that's his friend's phone. I put on the windowsill. That's the only place you get reception. And now I'm walking around, using a hotspot, and around the whole place. You can see his dog. It's a bit buffering. Let's see. There's John Hutchison, and there's his wife Nancy. She made some snacks for us. And there's me and him, and there's me and John. He showed me his power cells and so on, and his wife let me have one of his power cells. I'm not sure if you've ever seen the power cells. You can literally just get like. I was able to get like a half a volt for just continuously up or down half a volt. Just connect some wires to them, and you can. But what I'm working on is there's an electrical engineer that is in contact with John and Nancy. I'm trying to get him on a live stream as well. So he has done a lot of work on these power cells and so on, and
great.
And he's been able to show them to a lot of PhD scientists and so on, and all of them are just baffled. But they're like. It's able to do stuff that the normal batteries can't do. But anyways, and then I was also smoking organic tobacco with him, and so live.
Wow.
So there's me and John, but this one definitely if you haven't seen this one, this was like an hour-long video. I compressed it into, let's say, a minute. We're using 180x speed. This is a steel and rubber composite, and this is the one that actually Jackson Rapone shared to the Florida Florida City Council.
Right, I see. Right, I didn't realize you had all this footage. That's amazing.
Yeah, so I have them all, and because and what he told me, so John told me that years ago that what is it? Tim Ventura offered him $1,000 for the hard drive, and then he wouldn't give it to him. But he says he trusts me. I'm the only one he trusts, so he gives me all that.
Yeah, I don't trust Tim Ventura either. To be fair, I mean, yeah, go on.
Well, and now he's dealing with Ashton Forbes and so on. So that's Ashton Forbes is a quite interesting character. But anyways,
I know the RF fields are in.
This is 1 minute, except I time lapsed it, and you can see if you want to watch the original, you could go watch the full one. It's like an hour long. But this is a rubber and steel composite. It's like a weird backstop or whatever for ships. But anyways, so it's like rubber inside, steel exterior frame. I'm just going to play this quickly, and then we'll go back to AI.
The camera works on the principle of using RF too.
Yeah, so you can see this 60x speed, 1 second equals 1 minute. You can see it melting. Cold melting, and underneath is plastic styrofoam, so it's not burning the styrofoam.
No.
And now it's moving. Now it's moving on its own. And this is 6x speed. And now it teleports there. And now And now 180x speed, so 1 second is 3 minutes. Look at what's happening here. So imagine watching that normally. You wouldn't want to bother watching it, but time lapse you can see it all.
What's the material again, Matthew? Sorry.
It's so it's called bakelite. It's like
bakelite. Yeah, we call it bakelite. Yeah, go on.
But it's a steel and bakelite composite. So it's a steel exterior, and it's bakelite inside. So you can see the walls moving, separating apart, and so on. And
that's really interesting, that, Matthew. Thanks for doing that, because obviously, many times we've talked about with the World Trade Center how it wasn't just a poof, an instant poof. The building seemed to be being dissolved for a period of time, and particularly with World Trade Center 7. So I'm immediately drawn to an analogy of what you're showing right there, directly to what happened with the World Trade Center.
Yeah. And it's all cold. This is cold melting because this is the styrofoam. And what's also interesting about the Building 7 one, so the Building 7 one is turning to dust for so long. Even weeks after, it's still fuming. So when I was in one of the Zoom call Q&As with there's Richard Gage, I was answering someone's was talking about Building 7. So then they let me talk about it. I was talking about it, and that it was then there was that Chris Bergier guy. He was sharing his screen, so I told him go on because he was sharing my Building 7 turning to dust, and I told him go to the end, and you'll have the it's turning to dust even after like a week, 2 week and 2 weeks after it's still turning to dust. And right when he went to that part, Richard Gage came in and starting to shut that down. He's like, okay guys, enough of this. Let's go back to the other one. So right when he mentioned the 2 weeks after, he's like, enough. All right, enough of this. Quickly.
Yeah, he's not as stupid as he likes likes you to think he is he?
Yeah. Richard Gage is an interesting guy. I think he's a Freemason too, because if you've seen his email is rgage33, and sometimes he's doing this in his he's like I have a whole thingy on Gage on my Telegram. Gage, so rgage, and he's also if you haven't seen it lately, he's trying to get in front of Congress. He's trying to get in front of Congress to get Trump to reopen the 9/11 investigation. And so that's what's happening. But I just want to get to the Freemason part right here. So this is Richard Gage on one of the Q&As. This is on Zoom calls. He's doing this stuff. He's rgage33, but also his email is rgage33@gmail.com. so you can't make that stuff up. All right. And then there was another thing I completely forgot. I was actually going to talk about Alan Forrest. That book, there's a book by May Brussel, and this was on let's see, forensic. And then we'll get back to the AI. I always get all over the place when we talk about 9/11.
Sure.
9/11 forensic. Yeah. So Matthew Nas posted this from a book from May Russell about let's go. This was May Russell right here. Let's go. May Brussel. How do you pronounce May?
May, M-A-E, and then Brussels, B-R-U. There she is.
Yeah, so this one here. So Matthew Nas posted last month, architects and engineers. Did you know there was a Los Angeles-based firm with its exact name? It was called Architects and Engineers that provided logistics support for the CIA Phoenix program in Vietnam. Found this little tidbit in a book I'm reading on page 227. the essential May Brussels investigations of fascism in America. So that's so Architects and Engineers was a title for a company that was giving logistic support for the CIA Phoenix program. Okay, and now you got Architects and Engineers all over the place. All right, so I want to do that, and then now we're finally, I think, done with the sidestep, and let's go back into this right here. Yeah. So if you haven't seen my Hutchison stuff, I'm pretty much working full time on getting that out there and trying to get all of it online and in an easily digestible way. Especially like the hours and hours. There's a lot of levitation stuff, a lot of stuff like that, and like I have like 10 plus minutes of the bowling of the cannonball that's levitating. I'll get that as well. There's a whole bunch of never before seen stuff there. And interviews and so on that were used to be behind a paywall, and then it became like the website's all shut down, so you can't even find them anywhere. But anyways, I have unlimited stuff. And another thing is, so they have a bunch of the scanned documents, like 10,000 pages of scanned documents from all of his like Hutchison effect related work, and people messaging and like military contractors and so on. So that one, next time I visit him, I'll get that online as well. So then you'll have literally 10,000 pages of all Hutchison stuff like that. And yeah, and also here Sox17 says excellent interview with Elaine Smitha. So if you haven't seen that, okay, we'll go here. So I'm gonna play this for 1 minute of John Hutchison from the Elaine Smitha interview, and then then I'm gonna go straight into the Colossus one. All right, Elaine. Smitha. Oh no, it's interview. This is John Hutchison. So I'm not sure if you've seen this one here, but John Hutchison in the year 2000, he predicted that the future will have smartwatches with GPS and calling, and pretty much anything, internet, and I would assume that. And he also advances in molecular biotechnology, and he was saying that new life form will be developed. This is John Hutchison, way back in the day, year 2000.
And all this stuff's going to become a reality. We're going to see computers that are just going to be something that you just actually wear around your wrist, and it'll do everything. It'll GPS, position you, you can talk, you can do everything. It's going to be, I anticipate and I guarantee, since also I even guarantee that the Fountain of Youth would have been discovered soon, I guarantee that through the computer technologies it's going to become a new life form.
That we will become a new life form, we will be creating a new life form?
We will be creating a new life form.
Is that with the genetic engineering? Do you think that's
they're going to be incorporating that into computers, along with molecular engineering, and there's going to be a new life form based come out of this. So it's a challenging future. We have to be wise to know what we're doing, and not play God or get egotistical. This is going to happen no matter what. So the world is going to have many dramatic changes.
All right, there's John Hutchison way back in the day.
Nice.
All right, and now we're gonna go to the Colossus, Alan Forrest, and there's and also Alan Forrest. Yeah, so he made that T-shirt for you in one of your protests, Andrew.
He did, yes, yeah. Well, I actually got the T-shirt printed, but it was Alan's design. Yes, yeah. Very much so.
Actually, I do want to show that. Well, actually, yeah, and I also have here, when you mentioned earlier about your dad, Alan, was a mechanical engineer at Boeing. I shared this as well.
Yeah.
So he loved everything to do with airplanes, was a mechanical engineer, worked for Boeing Aircraft Seattle in the 1960s. And he knew that, yeah, planes disappearing in the towers on 9/11, that's impossible. And that's, he's well ahead of his time. Okay, I just want to get to this one right here. Yeah, so this is right here. So there's Andrew Johnson with the You've Been Deceived Alan Forrest one right here. Okay, and then yeah, that was Small World when I saw that from the 9/11 Alchemy video. That's epic stuff. Okay, let's get back into the Colossus, Alan Forrest Colossus. I have a bunch of Alan Forrest stuff here. So if you ever, Alan, you ever go into my Telegram and you can see it. Yeah, Andrew as well. So if you ever go in my Telegram, you can search Andrew Johnson, and you can see a bunch of stuff that I've posted on yours as well. And then Alan Forrest. Let's go here. Because what I do is just, I throw everything on Telegram, just for easy searching, like what I'm doing right here. So Alan Forrest with a book review of the 1966 Colossus book and trilogy. Let's play this right here, and we're gonna go. And I'm going to mute my thingy and listen to this.
I talk about a sci-fi series called Colossus, which was written by D.F. Jones, which stands for Dennis Fulton Jones. He was a British sci-fi writer. He lived for quite a time in Cornwall. During World War II, he was a British naval commander. And he was way ahead of his time. We're going back to the mid-1960s when he wrote the first in the series. It's a trilogy, Colossus. And they made a film out of it called Colossus, the Forbin Project.
We'd be getting bonuses like that.
Neither did I.
What do you mean?
I'm as surprised as you are, sir.
There's a spy there, Charlie. You've got a Russian agent in your crew. Where is Grover?
He's coming, Mr. President.
Okay. Now, what do you mean surprised? What kind of surprise?
If we don't find any bugs in the system, it's built even better than we thought.
It's about a supercomputer, an AI computer, which the United States basically gives over its control of all of its defense systems and offense systems, all its missile systems, everything, and decides that it's going to be much faster to retaliate and to protect them. And also the idea is to try not to engage frivolously in any kind of conflict, to let the AI decide everything. And what they quickly enter into is a nightmare situation where when they put the Colossus online, and by the way it's sealed up in a mountain, and they've designed it particularly so you can't turn it off, that once it's on, then humankind is just going to be guarded by this big computer. But what they don't anticipate is once the computer goes online and starts searching out with all of its electronic connections around the world, it discovers that there's another computer, its counterpart, in Russia. And it demands to be hooked up with this other computer so those two computers can speak to one another. And while they're humming and hawing and trying to decide whether they're going to do this, Colossus makes it rather plain that if they don't do it, then there will be a price to pay.
Action will be taken.
What kind of action?
What kind of action? What kind of action?
Why doesn't it answer?
Report proposed action.
Well, you've lost control, Forbin. It's not listening to you.
Acknowledge the last message, please. Mr. President, the executive programming unit refuses to function.
I.e., Colossus will launch missiles. They do the hookup, but they try and break it off. Colossus does launch missiles, and so does the Russian computer. The two computers start working together and discussing amongst each other how they're going to control the human race.
Oh, my God.
This is incredible.
Dr. Kuprin?
Yes, Dr. Forbin.
The missile has just been launched. It is heading towards the Cyan-Sibirsk oil complex.
Немедленно приготовиться к отражению.
The Charlie program has to be implemented
Сообщите на все периметры.
Yes. Immediately. We'll get you an executive order on it. It'll be forthcoming. So do it right away.
Товарищ председатель! Товарищ председатель!
So this quickly turns into a nightmare for Charles Forbin, the scientist who created it, and for all of his scientists that he works with. And then it becomes like a race against time to try and see if there's some way they can stop this computer, some way to extricate themselves from the mess they've got themselves into, with basically a tyrannical dictator AI that controls everything. I'm afraid they don't have a lot of luck in the first book.
Let this action be a lesson that need not be repeated. I have been forced to destroy thousands of people in order to establish control and to prevent the death of millions later on. Time and events will strengthen my position, and the idea of believing in me and understanding my value will seem the most natural state of affairs. You will come to defend me with a fervor based upon the most enduring trait in man, self-interest. Under my absolute authority, problems insoluble to you will be solved. Famine, overpopulation, disease. The human millennium will be a fact as I extend myself into more machines devoted to the wider fields of truth and knowledge.
However, in the second book, which has a lot of similarities between George Orwell's 1984. This is called The Fall of Colossus. This is part 2 of the trilogy. And in this one, AI, Colossus, has just taken over. It controls everything. People are fed. There's no more wars. Everything is taken care of. It's super efficient. Except for one thing. If Colossus decides there's too much population in a particular area of the world, well, time to depopulate, and you have no say in the matter. So we're talking about an AI, total tyranny, dictatorial rule.
Morgan, there is no other human who knows as much about me, or who is likely to be a greater threat. Yet quite soon, I will release you from surveillance. We will work together, unwillingly at first on your part, but that will pass.
Never.
In time, you will come to regard me not only with respect and awe, but with love.
Never.
What crops up out of this, though, because Colossus is such an amazing AI computer, is that it becomes God. People worship it. A religion sprouts up around it. And it's just like the Vatican with bishops and cardinals, and they have their religious pecking order. And Charles Forbin, the man who created Colossus, the head scientist, he becomes Father Forbin. I mean, he becomes the head of this religious organization. He doesn't want to be. He thinks it's ridiculous. But they look at him that way because he is the only one that is allowed to go and speak directly with Colossus. And even though Forbin swore that he would never learn to care for and love this computer, he is amazed at this brain and acquiesces to it. Meanwhile, his wife has joined a counter movement, a revolutionary movement to try and figure out a way to pull the plug on Colossus and get human beings back in control of their destiny. She's caught and she's sentenced to a very disconcerting kind of prison sentence, which would probably upset a lot of feminists, but nevertheless, it does show a lot about human behavior.
I didn't answer. I didn't know what to say.
What can we say?
Well, let's try something. Attention. Dr. Forbin is not available. Humans must have sleep.
Damn.
Forbin is exhausted.
It knows.
Well, towards the end of Fall of Colossus, they make contact with an entity that's going to help them try and pull the plug on Colossus. And what happens is they go from the frying pan into the fire with the Colossus and the crab. And this is the final book in the trilogy. This is where an extraterrestrial element enters the picture. It's done very tastefully. They're very well written. If you like Philip K. Dick or Isaac Asimov or Robert Heinlein, I mean any of the top sci-fi writers, you'll like D.F. Jones. It's literature science sci-fi, okay? It's a very high level. And the first book and the last book are kind of a race against time. The one in the middle has so many elements and so many similar things to this 1984 Brave New World type world that is just fascinating, especially the religious element of AI becoming God. So I highly recommend this series. I hope you'll check it out. Keep reading.
Right, that was an epic review of there, and yeah, I forgot that the last one has aliens come in. Okay, so I think it's literally right on the ball. So I don't know if he had some prior info on it or whatnot.
Yeah, it's really good, that, Alan. Very interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, it was very well done. In the cutscenes and so on. Yeah, go on, Andrew. You were saying something.
Yeah, so I think there is a lot of strange parallels with now. I mean, as you say, 1966, the year of release, so we're almost at 2026, aren't we? So that's almost 60 years, getting on for 60 years. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's certainly much to think about there.
Yeah, definitely. And the alien part, because like AI is going wild now, and we got all this alien talk all over Congress and everything. So I definitely think the Project Bluebeam is I think it's definitely gonna happen. I was very I didn't I always thought that it wasn't gonna happen until until COVID happened, and then I'm like, people are just falling for anything. I'm like, all right, Project Bluebeam will happen, and so on. Okay, so that was that, and then let's see what else we have here. I was gonna do the other thing. We'll see if we can do this later. This is comparing ChatGPT, Grok AI, Gab AI, Gemini, and Meta AI. I've only used. I basically only used ChatGPT and Grok AI. I used Gab AI a tiny bit, but mainly these ones. Have you guys used these AIs, or which ones do you guys use?
No, I've just used Brave. Brave search engine has AI on it.
Okay.
And I use that one quite a bit.
Yeah.
I've used ChatGPT quite a bit. I did a little exercise similar to what Morgan Reynolds and John Herald did for the articles. I guess you were going to bring that up, but I've also used I've also used ChatGPT for generating code. I've actually used that for some little coding projects that I've been doing over the last year or so. Two different ones, and ChatGPT is very good at writing code, and it saved me quite a bit of time in some of the little things I've been doing. Some for my Open University work, and some for a little project with an IoT device, which I've been tinkering around with just to, keep me on my toes with the coding skills.
No, that's good. I use it just for whenever I think of something and I have to use it. I programmed a few calculators with ChatGPT. If I go to, let's say ChatGPT, let's go mes.fm/links. So I made these ones all basically ChatGPT, and like this one here, I made an Earth curvature calculator. This one right here, just using ChatGPT, impermanent loss, unit conversion.
Wow.
I made this unit conversion is a pretty good one. I made this one all in with the ChatGPT, and you can just made it auto calculate. So you go kilometers per hour, go to 100, auto converts over there. You could change mass and also drop down. And I made the whole MES links, this whole thing with the ChatGPT. It was good to do that. And another thing I actually started doing was so ChatGPT. I didn't want to pay for it. I was paying for it for a bit, and then when the free one, it limits you how much you could use. But then Grok AI is it's like unlimited. And what I also started doing, so you remember those 499 witness testimonies on 9/11, the first responders?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you're aware, but I combined all of the ones from New York Times into one 7,000 page PDF, just so it's easy to search. Okay, so
we did something similar back in the day. Yeah, I combined them all into a text file. Go on, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. Can you? Do you have the text file? If you can send it? Yeah, I do remember you doing something like that. So what I did was, I put it all in one PDF, just so it's easy, and I downloaded all. You can download on my Telegram right here. But what I started doing was, I'm starting to put it all into one article, and this can only be done on the Hive blockchain, like the one I also promote. So far, and what I do is because the formatting is all off on the PDF. So what I would use Grok AI to fix up the formatting into Markdown, just so easy copy and paste. And this one, so far I uploaded 400 pages so far, and I have 21 witness testimony so far. But so if you look at the page, how big this is, I'm scrolling down. Look, this is all witness testimony, all in one article, and then eventually I'll have all 7,000, all in properly formatted and so on. And you could when you move your folder, you can view on your phone. You could shrinks and so on, so you could read it like just a giant folder. Just a giant article. And the reason I like this because you can easily search stuff. And I also, anything that's redacted, I put redacted in giant. I put redacted so that you can easily search what was redacted as well. So I also labeled redacted portions as redacted, so you can see here everything, and then you could go through the PDF to see how exactly was it redacted and so on. And you can see a bunch of stuff.
There's one account. So I did a sort of a study of the redactions back in the day, and I noticed. I think it was Morgan Reynolds. He pointed out that there was one of the accounts. I can't remember which one. That has got 10 pages of redactions. So
wow. Yeah, there was one with 1 page or 2 pages. I need to find that one too. I'll eventually get to that as well. Because something's up with the redactions, especially when they talk about the quote plain stuff there.
Yeah.
And so the other part about this is, so all the AI stuff.
That's a great idea, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll put this here. I guess there's twofold for this one. It's just very, very convenient. It just, I can go and search it up, and it's on the Hive blockchain, so it's immutable. Like nobody can take this down anywhere. And to show you that it's immutable, I can literally go. So this is peak.com. I could change the URL. I could change the URL to a different site that's accessing the Hive, and it's the exact same thing. So you kind of move away from websites hosting anything to there just becomes like skins. So now this is a different website, hive.blog.
Wow.
And you can view it in any different website access. In other words, you can create your own website built on Hive and sort it as how you want it. And you can make it like, for example, only your stuff. I think eastonc.com. See, this one should have it as well. So this is a third different website. Different website. So again, websites become just skins. You just change it. If you don't like how this looks, or if this one censors, you could use a different one. So it's kind of like you become immutable on the blockchain. And the other big thing is, so like all these AI ones we're using, like for example, ChatGPT, Grok, and so on. So there's two things that we don't know what they're doing, because they're pretty much like a black box. So we don't know how they trained their model, and we don't know what data they used. Like
right.
For example, yeah, they use their Twitter data, yeah. But then the question is, well, which parts of Twitter did they use? And we can't verify anything. We can't access their API, their data, or anything. And ChatGPT just makes what they do is they make business deals with Google or Meta or other companies with big data, and then they would partner with them and then get their data, and then they would model this. But then you don't know how they trained them either. So none of this is open source. But with Hive, it's all public data. And what's currently being developed on one of the platforms on Hive is called InLeo. They're building a Leo AI. And so the whole idea right now is trying to get as much data on Hive as possible. So this is one method here. So this would all be searchable on the Hive blockchain, and eventually with AI. So you can literally just go and summarize it and so on. And on Hive, it's all open source. So typically what will happen is you're gonna have open source AI trained on this, and you can literally see what is the factors they use for each AI. So you can tinker. So then you can literally take that own AI model, modified for whatever your caveat is. So for example, if you want to downgrade mainstream sources and increase, for example, your website or your Hive account, that'll boost that ranking there. So when you ask it something like 9/11, yeah.
So I have to ask you, Matthew,
yeah.
Are you actually helping to create an open source Colossus?
That's the thing. Yeah. So that Colossus one, so a lot of that stuff it's talking about, it's closed source. You don't know what that Colossus is doing. You don't know how it's doing it. But the thing with this one is, you can train it.
So in that case, then, are you the ET that's already here to help, put in the seeds to unpick Colossus before it's finally taken over the world? No, so we've actually got the third book that Alan described, mixed in with the first one so that it doesn't end up being the third one. And you've now helped create a time paradox, you see.
Okay, we just cracked the code, guys. Okay, Alan Andrew just cracked it wide open. Yeah, definitely. And there's another part of this AI stuff, which there's a lot of, so I made a video so someone made an AI agent on Hive that summarizes any YouTube video. And we'll do that. We'll do some tests right now. So this is the project that this In Leo one is working on. It's like a Twitter clone. You could do live Twitter Spaces, but this one's called Threadcast and so on. So what we could do is I made it actually a tutorial on how to use their. You summarize any YouTube video, and we'll do that one with your video right now soon. Actually, I'm gonna go just to illustrate with the AI. I think I put it in my notes right here. So summarize. Yeah, so AI YouTube summarizers are on Hive. So if you go right here, this one I made a summary right here. This one just costs $5 a month, or in HBD. But you have unlimited. You could try it for a month. Anyways, so this one right here, all you do is just post anywhere on any Hive front end, like the ones I was showing you. All you have to do is, so I already sorted this out, and we'll do test out one right now. All you do is type explanation mark and then summary. Where did I put it? Explanation summarize. Yeah, so like this. All you gotta do is something like this, and then you'll have an AI agent automatically summarize based on the transcript, and then it'll post it on the Hive blockchain, and it's immutable. And this will be all searchable for the AI. So now you're basically taking YouTube data, putting it on open public blockchain, and there's someone actually has a bot that does this, and they're doing with like thousands. And to example, right here, top 12. So I'm in the. Let's go back and search again. Let's go Hive again. The Telegram right here on the. I'm using the web desktop one. Let's go top 12. Yeah, so right here. Let's go back here. Okay, there it is. I'm in the 12. So some people here have summarized. So on Hive, because it's relatively small, I'm like 12th. I summarized 14 videos. First place has summarized 16 videos, and with AI, there's a thing called tokens. So and on crypto, there's a thing called tokens as well. But tokens is like a unit of value that you can transact, similar to like a penny, or like 0.01, etc. But then with we're gonna go. I'll discuss that in a bit. But AI has tokens as well, and something I think is definitely gonna happen, or is pretty much planned, is that Hive. AI and crypto are pretty much interlinked. So it's like you can't have one without the other at big scale, and I'll explain that in a bit why. But I do want to show this summary thingy right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go check the evidence right here. I'm going to take one of your videos. Let's take a big one that has, okay, let's say this current one, LA fires, Peter Wood has, we'll see how good the AI is. And it has a transcript, so that's good. So then I'll just copy this. And we'll put your data, and eventually you could put all transcripts as well on Hive. So it's like a giant text database. My view is Hive will be like the text storage layer of the entire internet. Or like at least a big portion of it. So we go in Leo. It's kind of like Twitter. Go summarize. And I'll put right here. And someone has an AI agent on this. So I'm going to summarize this. And let's say hopefully it's working. Sometimes they're like in maintenance or whatnot, but it should work in a few seconds, under a minute at least. So we'll get to that in a bit. All right. So that's that. And then you can tell me how good it summarized it. Okay. And
okay.
So I use that, and we'll just wait for it. And anyways, I'll go here, and I like this front end just because it's just a bit smoother. But anyways, we'll get to that in a bit. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it works. We'll get to that, and we'll go back here. We'll go back there in a minute. Anyways, so let's go back to the next setup that we have on here. Okay. There is another part right here. So I was talking about the OpenAI stuff. Yeah. So when you have Open One, basically you can create your own AI. To model however you want to access this public data. So imagine all of the data that Twitter and Google and all that have, but you're able to tweak it so that it gives you what you think is right. For example, you would downgrade mainstream Wikipedia sources on 9/11. That's one thing. So tell me what happened on 9/11. Instead of it saying Osama bin Laden somehow flew impossible, like somehow took over like $1 trillion military. It was actually done with directed energy weapons. So you can actually tinker it so that because all it is a little tiny button or a little tiny number where you weight what is that you want weighted high, what you want weighted down. And it's similar to like YouTube, where anything conspiracy, it kind of it weighs it down. So it's kind of like one little tweak. But imagine you had the exact same interface, that exact same access as any one of these, Google, ChatGPT, and so on. So everyone will have their own kind of AI set up like that. And eventually, even your own profile, you'll have like an AI summarizer that you can anyone can go ask you questions on your website, for example. But instead of asking you a million questions, you just ask the AI that's trained on your data. And then you'd be like, then it answers how you would answer. For example, it would ask, is a star child real or not? It will, according to your website, it'll be yes. If you go to Wikipedia or say a Hutchison effect, they're going to say Hutchison effect, star child, all hoaxes and whatnot. And you should get, and then it asks you how many vaccines should you get. Wikipedia says you should get 20 every year. Okay, so the summarizer's done here. So the summarizer's done. It usually takes under a minute. Let's go over here. And, whoops, this is different. This is right here, summarizer. Whoops. Okay, AI summarizer, part 1 of 7. Okay, so here's part 1, recent updates on current events and research. So let me know how well it summarized your video. So the recent devastating wildfires in Los Angeles has prompted deep concerns and discussions among many, highlighting ongoing issues related to natural disasters, government responses, and the theories that arise in their aftermath. The LA fires, a call for questions. The fires in LA have left many residents, including acquaintances of the speaker, directly impacted by loss and devastation. Email inquiries have been prevalent regarding the extraordinary circumstances surrounding fires, including sightings of burned cars and potential connections to previous disasters, such as the horrific wildfires in California in 2017, and so on. Again, there's Peter Woodhead. So transitioning to the exploration of UFOs, the speaker recommends the YouTube channel of Jesse Michaels, who delves into the UFO phenomena, anti-gravity research, and consciousness. Michael's work is noted for its high production quality and insightful content, and so on. Is that true?
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah, and then let's see. And then in summary, I'll see another one, more specific one here. Looking forward, the speaker acknowledges the potential drastic changes looming with the new political climate, speculating on the implications of a Trump administration, expresses hope for an intriguing and dynamic 2025 for all, etc. Anyways, yeah, so.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah, and again, this is on the blockchain, so it's like the whole idea is about democratizing AI or democratizing data and so on, because data is, I think, my view is like the new oil right now, because like if you see how big how big the AI models and so on, how much data they're churning out, and what's also happening is it's not just like online data. Now you have, like, for example, Tesla, their AI self-driving, they're gaining real world data. So they're exponentially growing every year as well. And they're getting literally infinite data from just all of the sensors and so on their computers. On their computers built in on top of their Tesla trucks. The example right here, just to give you an example of how much self-driving is being happening. Tesla. Let's see. So right here, this is a chart of, this was in Tesla's quarterly report that was sent out to investors. So I got this from this article that I follow on a Hive. So Tesla vehicles supervised full self-driving miles, it's skyrocketing. So this right here, we can go to the article on Hive. So this image right here. So this is 20. You can see the how much miles. This is full self-driving, but they're all supervised. And so on. And this is the V12 different model. But you can see how much miles and miles is skyrocketing up in billions. These are billions of miles. And you can see from June 2023, and now you have an increase of like, let's say 0.2, almost 10x in billions of how much self-driving. So eventually, like Elon Musk has been saying it, which is, I think, pretty much standard, manual driving will be illegal eventually. It'd be similar to like riding a horse in traffic. They'll be dedicated to specific areas because you're gonna have AIs going in and out and so on, and they're gonna be transacting with each other, and they're gonna be very, very close. and let's say you want to get to somewhere point A to point B fast, and someone else doesn't want to, so you can literally pay that AI car. Here's $5. Let me get ahead of you, and the robot just moves away, and you get ahead. So it's kind of like.
I heard somebody talk about this, Matthew, as well. I forget what it was. It was a while ago that in the UK we've got these things called smart motorways.
Yeah.
Where they've installed all these signs which tell you what speed you should be driving at based on the flow of traffic. And there was somebody, I think, that wrote to me, I forget where I heard it, or a friend of a friend sort of thing, who was involved in some sort of traffic committee, consultant group to look at the future of smart motorways in the UK. And they basically said what you just said, in that, eventually manual driving will be illegal, and the smart motorways will all be based on the use of self-driving cars, and you'll get to a point where you need to have the self-driving cars, and because if you have any manually driven cars, it'll mess up the sort of network of the AI driven cars, because they all will talk to each other with particular protocols and do particular things, whereas the manual drivers would just come in and mess things up. So I think they were going at it from that sort of viewpoint. So that was interesting that you point that out.
Yeah, definitely. It's many viewpoints too. Like that one too, you mess up the stuff there because one robot's like, "All right, I'll let you get by." And the human's like, not bothering to listen to you. So it's like now you have that traffic jam with that robot, with that human there. But also, it's just, I think, safety as well, because you'll have the robots. Like they make decisions really, really quickly. So like you say like yes, let's say you pay someone. You're driving and be like, I want to get there this speed, that fast, and then another one will be like, all right, it moves ahead of you, and it's all being rapidly quick. So you're gonna have like some of them driving like very, very close to each other. You're gonna have you're gonna have robots. They know how close someone is. So there's no like I'm gonna shoulder check to look around. They know there's a car right beside them, and they're gonna go this close to, like, literally just a few centimeters close to if they need to.
Oh, that's right. I mean, the human reaction time, average reaction time, is a quarter of a second. So, if an AI or a robot can improve on that by a factor of 10 or whatever, then you're going to have those sort of snap decisions. What you immediately also made me think of when you were saying that, going off on a slight tangent, but it is related. I'm immediately thinking of the accounts of, the piloting of flying saucers, UFOs, whatever you want to call them, advanced craft, anti-gravity craft, that people like Greer have said for a long time, and I think this is one of the areas where they're telling the truth, is that the way that these craft are piloted is using a direct link to a being's consciousness. So, that then when you get into these higher levels of consciousness where you're sort of connected into this universal web or whatever, then, that's going to dictate how you react and how you see what's around you, and so I think that aspect of piloting a craft and the way that you are hooked into some sort of sensor network, that's also an aspect of this.
Yeah, like Neuralink and so on, because they can already control mouses and so on, just with the mind. So that's going to be next level. And also similar to the 9/11, the UFOs on 9/11. Yeah, I think that's a good term as well, because so the UFOs on 9/11, that's what I call them. For example, the second UFO, it was going almost 600 miles an hour. It was banking, I think, 20 degrees bank. So it was like banking like this, and it did a roll like 18 degrees in like 2 seconds. So it's like and pinpoint accuracy down the South Tower. So it's like, however that object was being maneuvered, that is very, very very, very like computer like. It's very, very. It's not manually. It's not conventional manual like steering or anything. Something's being done where, regardless of what the object is, because I think it's some sort of image projection. But even then, image projection of that accuracy at 600 miles an hour, something's computerized there. So that's my take on that. Okay. So we did the summary right here, and again, Hive is I think you have a Hive account, Andrew. I think you had one from years ago. I guess you had a Steam account. So your Steam account is now a Hive account, just a FYI. And Alan Forrest actually is on Hive. I got him on Hive, and he posts. He posts all of his cartoons and stuff. And again, a big thank you to Alan, because he doesn't want to deal with the reward, the money reward, so he lets me take it all. So that's thanks a lot for that, Alan. Yeah, so
my tax situation's too complicated.
Yeah, yeah, I got to deal with the tax stuff soon as well. The government is coming after me for some. I just don't know. I don't know how to do the crypto taxes. It's just impossible. But anyways, so yeah, so you can see Hive as well. So again, your Hive account's worth 800 USD right now, and that's after me taking it because Hive is pumped a lot. So I remember actually I wrote an email to Richard Hall. He shared one of my emails years ago in the previous bull run. I was telling people that Hive will do well when it was at 7 cents. So now it's up a lot. But anyways, so Hive is one of them where I think if you want your stuff there's a learning curve, but if you want your stuff there forever, because like websites go down, archive.org goes down. They also probably do some own censorship as well, some copyright stuff. But again, Hive is where it's at. All right, let's want to continue the next setup here. We have a bunch of stuff. I just want to continue here. So this Colossus, where did the so I have a bunch of communities right. I'm gonna go back to right here. All right, so let's see the next setup here. We have a whole bunch of stuff, and you guys would also chime in as well whenever if you want to discuss any AI related stuff here. So this one right here, formatting this. Yeah, this one I talked about already. You can literally format it here. I'll show this one here again. So that 499 one here. These force responders, I used X on Grok, so I'll say Grok's right here. So there's the Iranian UFOs. So you go to the history on it. So again, eventually I'll be just doing everything on Hive whenever there's, and I was also asking developers there to get like a Telegram version on it. So I'm gonna go right here. Actually, where's the history? Okay, there's the history, and I'm gonna search. This was the plant. No, this one. I want to get to the responses. Yeah, this one here. For some reason, it has a French there. But anyways, so here's an example right here. And what I do is I just said here, I copied and pasted from a PDF. Look what I told Grok right here. I'll show more. I copied and pasted from a PDF, fix up the formatting, and make it into markdown format for the Hive blockchain. I want all the text, but if you need to give it in segments, that is fine. So I put this right here. And it's all unformatted. Some of them are like really badly formatted. And I told them format it all, and then it automatically makes that format. And then delete this. Okay, so and this is a giant copy and paste. I copy and paste like everything there. Wait up, refresh again, so it just minimizes that. And going back here. So anyway, and there it is. It formats it, and I just click copy, and I post on Hive. So formats it, bold it makes it bold, and so on. And
great. Yeah,
and some of them are like really badly formatted as well. And it still fixes them up, and you can ask it to like if something's an error, it will remember it. So you tell them don't do that again, do something else. For example, right here, fix this formatting. So some of them have like weird spaces in it. For example, if I just do, let's say hello, but I'll put in a space everywhere here, and some of them have like literally entire paragraphs like this. Fix formatting. Yeah, and it just Yeah, let's see what it would do. Fixes formatting, and it just puts it together. And imagine doing that for like literally, again, I don't know why it's taking so long. I think it's because it's like trying to memorize everything I did. Okay, it's probably because I probably have like an entire thing. I'll just do a new one right here. Fixes formatting. See how fast? Yeah, see how quick this one is? Hello, okay. But the other one is taking long because it takes in all the data you give it to it. And again, all this data, all the stuff that you're doing here, this all gets fed right back into Grok or into Twitter. So they're getting more and more data from you and synthetic data. It's called synthetic data. So it's like AI generated data. And so that's that. And then another part I wanted to go over here. So one thing, so let's just follow this in order and then see where we get to. So how AI, neural networks, and deep learning works. If you guys want to learn how it works, I think it's too much for this stream. But this is a really good video on how it works. It's basically just calculus. It's just basic calculus and matrix algebra if you ever dealt with it. And so on. It shows you how the number 7 and so on is calculated and so on. How you can use neural networks to get to... this one, eventually we may want to do a video on this. And so on. Basically, how you use a bunch of different weights and somehow convert an image to somehow convert an image to an actual number. So this one right here, it would basically take every single piece of this data and then assign it a weight. So these ones will all have like a 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And then the ones that have white, you could be like, okay, that's a higher weight on what looks like would be a 9. And it kind of, anyways, a bunch of stuff here. If you want to learn it, you watch this video on how to learn it. It's pretty well done. And eventually I may want to do a video on that. But basically, it's just simple calculus and matrix algebra. If you know those two, you can literally do magic with that. All right, the next part is AI world planning hinted at in Silent Weapons for a Quiet War document. Have you guys both read that document, Silent Weapons for a Quiet War?
Some of it. Yeah. William Cooper, right?
Yeah, William Cooper talked about this one. They have some very, very good stuff here. So whenever you hear inflation and so on, they talk about one way of so the same is achieved by government. This is from the text. So one way of resetting inflation is by war. So you kill off a bunch of the people so once you have less people, demand will be less, so inflation goes down. So same thing is achieved by government by printing money beyond the limit of the gross national product in an economic process called inflation. This puts a large quantity of money in the hands of the public and maintains a balance against their greed, creates a false self-confidence in them, and for a while it stays the wolf. And then they must eventually resort to war to balance the account and so on. And politicians are publicly hired hitmen and so on. But if you watch it, it tells you when war happens. When you hear a lot about inflation, war's coming, and so on. And if you go to document, the reason I say they hint at AI, this document viewed society as like an electric circuit. So have you seen that part about it? And they do some diagrams on it. And they would use basically they would use data. The drawing, I don't know why the drawing is super awkward there, but anyways, this is one of the documents. They kind of view it as a giant electrical circuit, but also AI. So you're gonna need the AI for the data collection. And the example I always state here, they mention in this, is that they tinker with the economy, similar how someone would tinkers with an electric circuit, and they would measure different inputs and different outputs that seemingly are separate. For example, they discuss literally talking about how they can go and tinker with the gas price, for example. Let's say increase the gas price. And then what they would do is they would measure the increase in suicides. So it's kind of like it's kind of like using big data to govern society in a way where the average person would never have suspected that, like they would never be able to pinpoint what's the reason for any specific event. And they're using big data to basically see how society would adjust based on their inputs and so on. So, and the reason I said hinted at AI, because again, that's pretty much what AI is. You put an input, get an output, and then measure it, and then see if you can do that again, and predict if you can get it correctly. So that's that. If you guys have any thoughts on the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, it's definitely a worthwhile document for anyone to grasp. It's kind of like putting society into a math equation, calculus of society. All right, so that was that. The other part is this document here. This was I did not realize this was leaked. I think I got it from Alan Forrest. I think you mentioned it was leaked in one of your emails. So this is the leaked NASA document saying AI computing will mature in 2025. Have you guys seen this? The leaked NASA document from 2001?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
So this is from So I'll get to this right here. So this August 14th, 2001 presentation about the future of warfare in 2025. Oh. Yeah. It's pretty insane. Yeah, it is pretty absolutely insane. This document was apparently leaked in 2001 and never intended to be public. I did not know it was leaked. But if you go here, and so future strategic issues, future warfare, circa 2025. It's always 2025. Capabilities of the enemy of after next and so on. You can see there's 113 pages on this. Let's see what let's do a search of AI. Let's go to the PDF actually.
Odessa Orlowitz did this on her show Liberty Talk Canada.
Yep, yeah, that's where they get the email when you forward it. So AI, NAIC, interesting, CIA backwards. Whenever you have AIC, it's and also, but the SAIC, they also were part of the. So I made some posts on Telegram about the SAIC. They're also heavily involved in the OKC bombing. Have you heard about that? Andrew, but the
sorry, the what? They're involved in what?
The OKC bombing, allegedly.
Oh no, I didn't know that actually. Oh really? No, I didn't know that.
So I have SAIC. I have a couple things right here. I made a bunch of posts on them. This was the SAIC, Jerry Lee part. But if I go earlier, so this SAIC again, backwards CIA. So I made a big post right here. So Science Applications International, or SAIC, is a private contractor that was chosen to head the newly created Weapons of Mass Destruction, WMD's First Responders Program in 1998 in response to the 1993 OKC bombing. So think about that. They were awarded to basically lead the new Weapons of Mass Destruction, but OKC was allegedly just a random bombing, allegedly. And now all of a sudden you have SAIC. They were chosen to head the response unit, and they call it Weapons of Mass Destruction. Okay, WMD, way before the Iraq second Gulf War, and then SAIC also paid 11.75 million in fraud claims. All right. So it's also heavily involved in directed energy weapons and so on. So you can go here, SAIC. This is June 13th, 2013. They were paid $11 million to settle False Claims Act charge, and this is before Congress set up the WMD First Responders Program in 1998 in response to the 1985 OKC bombing. And New Mexico Tech has awarded SAIC the contract on a sole purpose basis since 1998. This meant SAIC had never had to compete for a price basis on the contract. So basically, just dealing with the government directly. And so on, there's SAIC. They're dealing with hypersonic defense measures in space there, hypersonic directed energy weapons, and other mumbo jumbos. And yeah, and let's see. In addition, administration service contract was awarded to Science Applications International. This was the 9/11 WDC investigation. So they were the ones investigating 9/11. They're also the ones heading the response unit for OKC bombing. And if you ever see OKC Building 6 and OKC, it's literally one and the same. OKC Building 6.
Right.
Oops. Okay, number doesn't show up. So here is... Yeah, so this one, it's like... Oh, okay, that was the other one here. Here's a side-by-side. This is... so the thing is, which one is which? How could you tell which one's which? This one, you can actually see some concrete. This one has the wheat checks. This is Building 6. This is the OKC. So that's...
Right.
Yeah. So again, SAIC, what are the odds SAIC is involved? It's similar to Stephen E. Jones. What are the odds that Stephen E. Jones is doing cold fusion cover-up and all of a sudden doing thermite, paint on thermite?
That's right.
Yeah.
There were also some toasted cars at the OKC bombing site as well. And obviously not as many, but I think there were... Dr. Wood had noted the ones that have got trunks popped open and stuff.
Yeah, I think
I got a picture of that on. I don't know if you've got that there as well. But yeah, I was
very
much amazed when I think she didn't tell me that for quite a long time. Obviously, she knew, and then she showed me these pictures, and I thought, wow, you know.
Okay, see toasted. Okay, see. Okay, I think I had it before. Anyways,
yeah,
I'll have to get that.
I've got them in a post on my website.
Yeah, it's also to put in there. That's why I throw everything in Telegram, just because it's easy to search in one area.
Right.
And you can upload like literally giant files and so on. And it's my way of posting there and then I'll double check and later and then I'll post it on YouTube after, and so on. All right. So yeah, that was this one here. I'm gonna go back to this part where I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna open up. This is the PDF. Okay, beyond human AI. That's an interesting one. So because the thing is, AI can eventually create its own AI. So that's the thing with synthetic data and so on. And then AI, all you can do is produce your own AI. That's like, okay. So AI will have AI and beyond computing. So just to give you an example, so human brain characteristics, capabilities: 100 billion neurons, 100 trillion connections, 200 calculations a second, slow speed of neural circuitry, 20 million billion calculations per second. Excellent at parallel computing, pattern recognition, poor at sequential thinking, operates via random tries, and then machine capabilities currently 10 billion calculations per second, but now that was 2001. 100 billion by 2024. By 2010, 20 million billion. By 2025 on a PC. 2030, PC has collective computing power of a town full of human minds. Interesting. U.S. Human Brain Project. All right. Exploding field. Okay, I just want to get to the AI. They do mention... this has been a while since I read this one here. I put this all in here. But anyways, whoever has gone through it... this is what I hate this text AI. Actually, human beyond. So imagine, you could probably feed this in, and what I'll do is we'll do some real life testing right now. I'm gonna download this AI setup right here. AI. Let's go temporary. Bushnell. I'm gonna copy this. AI. I'm gonna upload to Grok and ChatGPT right now and see how it summarizes it. where did I get it? I'm gonna upload this right now, and then because you can upload directly a PDF to it. Okay, make a bullet point summary of all the discussion about AI in this document. So let's see what happens. So we're doing real live AI right now. Okay. So there it is. Look how quickly that did it. You throw in a whole PDF in there. And it tells you. Yeah. So general AI trends, exponential improvements in AI computing since 1959, with projections even greater advancements in AI capabilities by 2025. It's almost 2025. And so on. A digital brain atlas, an exploration of brain function for advanced neuroinformatics. Okay. Imagination engine, a creative AI system that generates new ideas by depriving trained neural networks of meaningful inputs and inducing the dream. Okay, that's interesting. So it's training AI models to actually think of questions and so on, as opposed to just give you outputs. And then future AI robotics, movement from traditional rule-based AI to behavior-based experiential systems using neural networks. Okay, and then AI is a cornerstone for transforming global wealth creation, education, and societal organization. That is true. AI is going to be like leading into a giant change that's going to happen. Potential misuse of AI for non-explosive warfare, psychological information warfare, challenges defending against AI, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so that's the AI stuff there. Again, that's pretty amazing. You could just throw this in there and it will summarize it for you. All right, so
yes, indeed.
Yeah, so that was that. And then the next part is formatting this organized PDF. I already discussed that. Okay, Alan Forrest, these are your notes on this one here. Before we get to that, I want to do one thing. There's a couple things I want to do here. This is AI text checkers. So you can check if something is made with AI, and they're pretty well done. Like, actually, it's very, very well done. Like, so this one here, this was a description of a biology video I made a few days ago. So I'm going to put this is GPT-0, just checks if it was AI made. I made this manually. Let's see if we're scanned for AI. I made this 100% manually, just to get proof of point. Okay, so it says 98% human, 2% AI. So if you put in AI text in there, it's pretty good at detecting it. What I'll do right here is I'll do this live right now so you can all see it. I'm going to put rewrite to clarify and correct if necessary. So even if you have your own manually written text, so I wrote this all manually myself, I'm gonna get AI to rewrite my own text, so it's not getting some random ones from anywhere. And let's see if it was able to detect it. Okay, so in this video, blah blah blah. Okay, wait, I need to make it in one paragraph. Okay, I don't want to make it with the formatting and so on. Okay, so one paragraph. And let's check. Okay, so I just copy this now. And I will go back to that AI checker. And let's check if it's AI. And just basic scan now. AI, it says 100% AI. So this was able to detect that it was 100% AI, even though it was a rewritten of my own video. So I don't know how, I need to learn how they do this. So there's something that they're doing that or at least there's some giveaway that's being given in the AI system. So like in this video, explore how I'll read the first example, the first question. In this video, explore how plants react to stimuli like water loss, air chemistry, herbivores, and sunlight positioning. So it's like a regular human reading that doesn't think that's AI. And then this is my first sentence, or where's the this is go back to the grok. So this is the first one here. In this video, I discuss how plants respond to various stimuli such as water loss, air chemistry, herbivores, and the position of the sun. So the question is, how is this not AI? This one is AI, and how does it know? All right. So anyways, I want to show that because that's pretty, in my opinion, pretty amazing. And some people have done stuff with that on deepfakes. So Kate Middleton, have you seen the Kate Middleton videos?
Yeah, I've seen a couple. I might not have seen all of them, but I've certainly seen one or two of them.
So that's Life But Not As You Know It. So we actually did a live stream together, and so he put in the video of that in an AI video checker, and it said that it was AI. It was given hints that it was a probable AI, and also Osama bin Laden. You know those old videos of Osama bin Laden saying that death to America, whatever, it was him. He did it because of U.S. involvement in Israel and so on, or U.S. and Israel attacking something, whatever. So we did it live in this, and it also said it was AI as well. In this, we did a live stream together, and see if I can find Osama bin Laden somewhere in there. But I want to bring up that point about the text one, because you could do that with videos too. And we went over the Kate Middleton one as well. And what I also did was, let's go back to this. He had a video here, and I think it's deleted or something, because he had his channel like up for termination, and it's not on his channel anymore. But he put this here, this video, right, one of this Osama bin Laden ones, and then it was able to, and then the AI said that it was, the AI said that it was not human generated. So, and I think that is more likely as well to it. But I want to show one thing about the Kate Middleton one. So he found that the blinking rate is really, really high. And again, blinking, Kate Middleton right here. What I ended up doing was I took a 20-second or 30-second segment there of her blinking, and I counted it up, how much time she blinks. So if you ever think about yourself, how much times do you guys blink normally? So it's like one, it's like another one. But this one here, she's literally blinking at a rate that is far more, at once per second. Yeah, here's her blinking literally every second, if you haven't seen this one. Let's play this. Average human blinking rate is 15. Yeah, so average rate is 15 to 20 times per minute. So she's going 1 per second almost. She's going like 60 times, or 3 times above human average.
I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you personally for all the wonderful messages of support and for your understanding whilst I've been recovering from surgery. It has been an incredibly tough couple of months for our entire family, but I've had a fantastic medical team who have taken great care of me, for which I'm so grateful. In January, I underwent major abdominal surgery in London, and at the time, it was thought that my condition was non-cancerous. The surgery was successful. However, tests after the operation found cancer.
Yeah, so 30 blinks in 30 seconds. So think about that yourself. Just try to talk and try to blink every time. Hello.
The other obvious thing in that video is the background. It looks like she's outside, not a blade of grass moves. So that's one thing I picked up without any, analysis really.
Yeah, that's a good idea as well. Yeah. And it's similar to the Ashton Forbes one. If you haven't, the clouds don't move in the Ashton Forbes that MH370 video. So clouds, just to give you an example of the clouds one. I think I have a 10x speed right here. I posted right here. Go to my this one is like I think like a smoking gun. It's just there's no way around it. And I even had the guy that claims to have made the videos, and I think I'm pretty certain it was him. Clouds don't move right here. So we're here playing the footage at 10x speed. So here is I made this 10x speed, but someone made this this video right here, where so they would take that zoomed in one and then basically zoom out and then crop it all together, and then so here's a cloud. So I made a 10x speed. You see nothing moves in this quote satellite footage, and allegedly the bottom part, these lines are supposed to be waves in the ocean. So nothing moves, but this is a composite one, so you should have movement wherever the planes move in there. Something should be moving. These were just, again, nothing moves there. And if you see, if you see actual satellite footage, it's like clearly clouds move. Like no one questions if something's moving or not. But anyways, so that's 10x speed. So this one made it here. Here's normal speed. And normal speed, again, nothing moves the entire time. And if you actually calculate the speed of the plane and the size of the plane based on the pixels and the locations it was at, it was half the size and half the stall speed. So you go, I have it right here. These are, if you look at the actual physics of it, stall speed. Yeah, oh, whoops. When I press enter, it doesn't show. Okay. It was right there, stall speed, yeah. Yeah, this one right here. So in that document, if you look at it, and if you just check the stall speed, because when you fly in high altitude, the air is very thin, so you need to go fast. Otherwise, the engines won't be able to work properly, and they'll just literally stall. And this person here, if you actually pinpoint each of the locations and measure the actual speed based on the time of the video and the actual size of the pixels there, it's about half the size. His real size should be double the size. And the speed is actually half the stall speed. So it's, but if you try to compare this with the thermal quote thermal videos there, the thermal one, because they're using the same time frame, and I mean they have different time frame actually, but the same alleged location, and that was probably going at like 5,000 miles an hour or something like that. So the speeds don't match up if you look at the physics of it. But anyways, that's off topic for that. I just want to get back into the setup here. Okay, so we went there. The other one, I had some other notes before we jump into Alan Forrest's notes right here. Oh yeah, this part right here. So 1989 Washington Post technology. So I'm pretty sure you've seen this, Andrew, and Alan. Have you seen this as well or no? This is
no.
This is an article from. Let me copy this and post it in my Telegram. Okay. This is from February 1st, 1999. So this is from the Washington Post. They were talking about voice morphing, deep fakes, and classified technology that can project. I'll put it can. That can project a giant hologram of Allah. So you go right here. When seeing and hearing isn't believing. So it is a result of voice morphing technology. So they're already talking about voice morphing. Again, this is all AI and so on. In real time to clone speech. It is 1989. Washington Post talking about it. And digital morphing voice, video, and photo that has come of age, available for use in psychological operations. And then shortly after that, you have Osama bin Laden and 9/11 and so on. Yeah, and this was talking about digital morphing, yes, AI deep fakes. And they're also saying, what if the U.S. projected a holographic image of Allah floating over Baghdad, urging the Iraqi people and our army to rise up against Saddam? A senior Air Force officer asked in 1990. So this is, if the mainstream news is talking about it, it's obviously going to be about decades earlier. So they're talking about 1990, what they're talking about. Let's go along the holodeck. Pentagon planners started to discuss digital morphing after Iraq's invasion of Kuwait in 1990. What? This is just mind-boggling. And Gulf 4 hologram story might be dismissed were it not the case that the Washington Post has learned that the super secret program was established in 1984 to pursue the very technology for PSYOPs application. The holographic projector is described in a classified Air Force document in a system to project information power from space. From space, interesting. For special operations deception missions. All right. like war is like a box of chocolates. PSYOPs are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get next. All right, so that's that. Yeah. So you haven't seen that before, Alan, or no? But,
no, I haven't.
Yeah, I've seen it. That was actually talked about. Not all of that, but bits of it were shown in the first and second Loose Change films way back in 2004. So I've been aware of that article for a long time. But yeah, and I've thought about it many times. And in fact, Alex Jones referred to it in terms of the sort of blue beam scenario, but he didn't talk about it in relation to the planes. On 9/11. I'm going to duck out shortly because it's 9:30 here. So
yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
no worries.
I think I better duck out too. So
okay.
We?
Yeah, we can head out. Just for the audience, if you guys check the links there, there's a bunch of links because we haven't got over the Alan Forrest. If you want to make one last point about this, we'll head out soon. I wanted Andrew to be aware. I don't know if he knows about Brendan O'Connell, but
go on. Yep.
Because he's really watching Israel close as far as AI and all of their cybersecurity, and he does regular reports on that. I mean, he also does the political stuff. I mean, he covers everything, but his bailiwick is really watching the technology that Israel's involved in and how many different companies they have they got their fingers in a lot of different pies. So I just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah, I think I've watched a couple of Brendan's videos. It's been a while since I've watched them. So, again, I'm hoping that people like him who clearly have a very detailed knowledge of a certain area like Israel or, and he does appear to have some very deep level contacts. I think the video that I watched, and this week, Richard D. Hall and I discussed him briefly. I think Richard watched a few more of his videos than I did, but we're probably going back 3 or 4 years now.
Which show, Andrew? Which show did you discuss that with Richard? Because I'd like to watch that.
Yeah, you'll have to look and do a search on richplanet.net. I can't remember which one it was. I don't think we spent a long time on it. You might not even find a reference to it.
Those are.
What was the title? What was it talk about? I'm on it right now. I can search for you guys.
You could try searching for Israel or just search for Brendan O'Connell. Richard,
you did one. You two did one on Zionism once, didn't you?
We did. We discussed the Greg Felton book, The Host and the Parasite. I don't think we discussed the Brendan O'Connell video in that episode. It might have been that one, but it was 2, 3, 4 years ago we discussed Brendan O'Connell. What I was going to say is that Brendan O'Connell, again, people like him are great and they have a deep knowledge, but I do wonder if they know some of the stuff that we know about what happened on 9/11, because
he's limited. Yeah, O'Connell's limited. He doesn't know what you know about 9/11, and I don't think he knows what you know about, the no virus, the COVID stuff. But for certain areas, just for Israel alone, as to what they're up to, then, it's nice to check in to see what he has come up with.
Right, yeah, I think that's good for the viewers to hear about him then, yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing I just wanted to chime in, so the question is he limited, or is he just showing off that he's limited, or just like projecting that he is? That's the thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
I couldn't tell you. It's just that he mainly focuses on the political stuff and on Israel and technology.
Yeah. No,
that's his number one thing.
And that's why I kind of like how Jackson Rip Holmes would do it. So he would message these people directly and tell them, hey, 9/11, free energy, you can do anything about this? And then see what they react or not. And there's another one, Conspiracy Realist. He's been sending packages to a lot of these people. So I'm not sure if you've seen this. I'll show this quickly because we are running out of time. But I want to show reality. Let's see here. So I posted this right here, 9/11 reality, or I got to find this Conspiracy Realist. So he made a PDF document that I put on Hive as well, Conspiracy Realist. Yeah, so he posted, so he's been sending these to a bunch of these people. So a featured report and article by Conspiracy Realist, and also he puts the addresses in there so you can actually send these to people. So he sent it to Tulsi Gabbard, Martin Armstrong, like these big PDFs of 9/11. So given 9/11 reality, how shall we then live? It's a 36-page PDF. I put this on the Hive blockchain, again, just to put everything on there. And again, this stuff right here, when you look at this, it's like, this is some advanced technology. And again, he sent it to Representative Thomas Massey, August Pullifer, Eli Crane, John Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard, Martin Armstrong. And he hasn't heard back from them. So it's like one of those where some of these are being made aware of it. And even Jackson Holmes actually tried calling Jill Stein. So she's supposed to be like all this climate change, sustainability worse, and it's like, well, this is free energy right there.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried doing similar things to that in the past. Maybe not, that much, but that was my reasoning behind writing to all the police chief constables and all the military bases I could find in the UK. I basically wrote to the military bases I could find in the UK, sent them the synopsis for the Judy Wood material, and then I just said, look, until you understand this, you're really just wasting your time. Why are you even bothering launching these planes and aircraft carriers? It's just a waste of time. You need to go and look at this. And that's when I got a visit from these two guys claiming to be policemen, but I don't think they were. That's in my book, and I invited them in for a cup of tea, and I think they were all a bit bemused. They thought, is this guy a nutter? And they could clearly see I wasn't a nutter. So they didn't know what to do. They're only in my house 10 minutes, and then they buggered off.
And interesting about when you mentioned police. Okay, first I have this photo of the Bible fused with the steel.
Oh, yeah.
Again, it's like this is a smoking, a dustifying gun. I don't say smoking. It's like, because people don't realize a paper has spontaneously ignites at like 400 degrees Fahrenheit or like 200 degrees Celsius. So if this was anywhere even near it, it would have just spontaneously ignited. And the Bible's it's like super thin, the pages. And this is steel.
Very delicate.
And this is exactly Hutchison fact. Okay, and let's see what else was in here. And anyways, he discusses a whole lot of stuff here. This is the LiDAR data that was used for the 3D prints.
Sure, the model, yeah.
And the other thing I want to go before you head off is that Jeremy Reese from Alien Scientist guy. So you mentioned, because you mentioned police, but he's currently, because you mentioned in your book you talked about he had some sort of court case, but I couldn't confirm exactly what it was for, because he was.
Oh yeah, well it's in my book, I'm sure. He was basically the story of Jeremy Rice or Jeremy Riss, and you can look into his dad, who has some interesting connections, I think. But he was witnessed to attempt to machete his girlfriend to death, and guys pulled him off. and then he was sent to prison. And Edgar Fouché, who I write about in the Secret Space Program book, he told me that he used to write to Jeremy Riss when he was in prison. I think he even went to see him, and he showed me this picture that Jeremy Riss had drawn while he was in prison for Ed. It's all some weird stuff going on there. And then I found a link to a parole, a police report where Jeremy Riss had broken his parole, and he'd broken the terms of his parole. Yeah. And he was under house arrest in his father's basement, apparently. So he's an ex-con, Jeremy Riss.
Yeah, the machete one. That's one I just wanted to because it doesn't mention in your book the machete like specifically. As I wanted to double check that.
No, so that I don't think you'll find any public reference to that, because I don't know if there's any public record of his.
But that's the actual reason. So that's the actual one.
That's what I was told. Yeah, that's what I was told.
Were you told by Edgar Fouché? Were you told by Edgar Fouché, or who were you told from?
It was either him. I think. Or no, it may have been him, but I think I received that information in an email, and I've had no reason to. It was an attempted murder basically, and that fits with his character, if you ask me.
Yeah, just because I wanted to again.
And he's never disputed that. He's never, I've said this several times in venues like this. He's never written to me to dispute that.
Yeah.
So
the reason I bring that up is because I wanted to make 100% sure, but the thing is, recent events makes the thing. I think you're right, because recently, I'm not sure if you were aware, his Twitter or X account got deleted, and it might be from some anti-vax stuff that he's posting. But someone online also found out that he is currently having some custody battle with his ex-wife. That claims that, again, that he abused him, so in a custody battle. And someone else on Twitter, they said that he was also raped them as well. So that's but we'll go back here, Jeremy Riss.
Yeah, and it's a pattern, that I established. Yeah. I mean, I've written about that in the book. Another one is Jeff Prager. Jeff Prager was also one of these. He came out with this nuke story again, and he claimed to be a magazine publisher, but he also had some dealings with. He was a felon. He was wanted for some sort of misdemeanor, and I think there were some. I think it was what's his name? Chris Berlin had information about Jeff Prager on his website, I think, because he'd been hassled by Jeff Prager. And so, again, it's some of these trolls and naysayers. They have a criminal record. This is a pattern which I've seen again and again.
So the question is, what does Richard Gage have in his closet?
Well, indeed, there could be something along those lines. Same happened with Sterling Allen. Sterling Allen was this Pez Wiki free energy guy. Wow. I wrote that up as well a little bit. And he was actually at John Hutchison's house. And then he was involved, Sterling Allen, he was involved in some incident with a child or a teenager, and it was the teenager was known to John Hutchison, and one of their friends was involved in this. So it's some pretty nasty stuff behind some of these people. I don't really need to say that, but
definitely.
There are pictures of Sterling Allen, and reports about him being arrested for. And I put that story in I forget. I think it was my second 9/11 book. I had that link, and it's on my website. So hardly surprising. I think there was another thing I thought about Jeremy Riss as well. Oh yes, his connection with Balloon Boy Richard Heaney.
Yeah.
He was filming Richard Heaney, who was involved in this known Balloon Boy hoax. That's in my book as well. So what's he doing getting involved with that character? Yeah. That was probably another psyop.
Yeah.
That was being run at that time.
No, definitely. I remember seeing that. And speaking of the Jeremy Riss one. So someone posted stuff online, and then I was able to literally double check and verify that this. So there's a court hearing here. I'll put this on Telegram. So Jeremy Riss, aka Alien Sign, is currently involved in multiple court cases right now involving domestic abuse and a divorce/custody of his children, and apparently he also served in the military as well. And I've confirmed that is indeed Jeremy by looking at his previous X account. So if you go right here, this is a Rhode Island versus Jeremy Riss 2023. This is misdemeanor for domestic violence. This is Jeremy Riss, Rhode Island. then if you go to his LinkedIn, as alien scientist, he's from Rhode Island. So now we have a Jeremy Reese from Rhode Island. And then if you look at his full report, just like random online backtracking thingy, has a JR from Rhode Island 42, and he's from this area. And now there's another one here, Jeremy Reese versus Brittany Joyce. So Bristol County, this is Bristol County, Brittany Joyce, Jeremy Reese, and then there's one complaint for custody, so the custody battle for the kids, and also affidavit as to military service. So they requested his affidavit for his military service. So that was Jeremy Robert Reese, Bristol County. Keep that in mind. And then if I go back to the Bristol County here, where did I mention Bristol County? There's a Bristol County somewhere. Why did I mix up the Bristol County? But anyways, Bristol County, keep that in mind. And also Brittany Joyce. Bristol County, it does line up. Something I forgot. But anyways, so I checked his old Twitter account from July 2020, July 2020, 24. My latest piece of artwork, going to watch his movie tonight with Brittany after the kids go to bed. So his wife's name is Brittany, 2020. Now Brittany and Bristol County, again, these are the same areas. I just don't know why I highlighted Brittany County, but it matches up where he was, Rhode Island. Right. Yeah, something up. I forgot why I did that, but anyways. So this is literally him. I don't know how you wrap around it. This is Jeremy, his wife Brittany, custody battle, affidavit of military service, and Rhode Island, and misdemeanor as well as the same Jeremy Reese. Oh, there it is, Bristol County. So there's Providence, Bristol County, misdemeanor, Jeremy Reese. There's Bristol County right here. I forgot to highlight that one, and I'll do that right now actually. Yeah, but I think I just want to do this quickly so that I don't forget again like last time. Or like currently.
Yes, I mean that right there does obviously back up what I was saying about the earlier story of him, attempted battery on another girlfriend. You know, and it's just obviously that ended how it did, and then he's got involved with this Brittany person and got married.
And a kid,
years later, and it's just repeating that. Yeah, and he's just repeating the same pattern of behaviour. And I mean maybe that's come from, some experience he had in the military. I mean. Without going too much into the psychology, a lot of these people have had traumatic experiences, either in the military or in family upbringing or something, and that's what basically turns them into bad people. It's kind of not their own fault necessarily. It's just because of things that have happened to them. Yeah. And there you are.
And on the same day that Ashton Forbes first went on Twitter to start talking about the MH370, that's when he retweeted Jeremy Reese. The first day, the first day he starts talking about it, and he retweets a experiment from Jeremy Reese. I'm like, how does he know him all of a sudden? So you go,
very interesting.
Ashton, Jeremy, I have a bunch of Ashton and Jeremy stuff on here, So let's see, go back here. So this one right here, this is August 7th, 2023. Day later, So on August 7th, 2023, he says, why am I looking at these two different videos? This is Ashton Forbes. And then a day later, he retweets Jeremy Reese's the experiment where he did a successful replication of some sort of magnetic thing, which is on the same day of him talking about MH370. This guy saying he's a breakthrough, and now that he's retweeting it. Anyways, so that is that, guys, and so for those in the audience, check out. Here's a bunch of links we didn't cover, and a Brave AI Sentient, the one that you sent, Alan Forrest. We haven't had a chance to cover that, but can AI be sentient and so on? And you also mentioned this other whistleblower that died there. I haven't had a chance to go through because there's infinite info right here. So if you have any thoughts on that, otherwise, because you guys are
okay, Matthew. Yeah, that's great. I think I'll bow out now, and I think you keep doing fantastic work. It seems to get better and better every time I look at your work. So it's great to have some. Now that I'm sort of advancing in years, and I've been at this now for 20 odd years, so it's great.
Join the club.
Absolutely, Alan. Yeah, and
be good.
And it's been great to just have a few words with Alan. We should maybe have a chat, separately sometime.
Sure. Sounds good.
Thank you for all you've done, Alan, as well. And Matthew, you've done some fabulous work here just tonight and elsewhere as well. So that's brilliant. Keep it up.
Yeah, thanks.
And we need people like you with your intelligence and your skill here, which is vast. And thank you very much.
Yep.
Thanks, man. It's been great. Great to be with you, Andrew.
And you, Alan, yeah.
No, it's good. You guys motivated me to get on my A game because Andrew, you've done a lot of work in the past, and like, I was asleep for so long, and then I realized, okay, I need to get up my game quickly, and Alan Forrest has forced me as well to like be more physical out there as well, like get on the protests and so on, and just get there. Yeah, basically, I think you guys both have motivated me to just do what
Fabulous.
I'm doing, and also and hopefully if I get in contact with Judy Wood again. What I do want to get is her book in like article format, PDF format, and like multiple editions, like online as well. Because I know she's against that, but hopefully, because again, she doesn't need to do much. I just take everything and put it all, do everything online myself. So yeah, that'd be good. Anyways,
good luck with that. Yeah.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Hopefully, she gets on the show. That'll be that'd be a game changer.
It'll be great.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show, and yeah, great stuff, guys, and I'll end the stream right here in 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, bye, guys. Everybody.
Bye.
See ya. Have a good one, and see ya, Andrew. All right, guys. The stream is done. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm gonna end this right here. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Jeremy, stop looking at 9/11 while he's showering. Alright, anyways, hope you all enjoyed that, and have a great weekend. And also, I may be, I'm thinking 10 a.m. PST Wednesday. I answer all math questions. I think I might do that. It's my birthday, on my B-day, Jan 15. Math Q&A. Just because I get millions of questions from math, and it's just hard for me to type it all out and stuff. And I think it will do really well. And also, people donate super chats and so on. We'll get priority sequence in there. Anyways, guys, adios, and have a good show. And anyways, ending the stream in 3, 2, 1, and go. And also, before we get to that, on Rumble here, yeah, some of these comments. William Cooper put that document, the silent weapons. Yeah, definitely, great guy, William Cooper. In 1994, I felt the force of my radio mask to my van. Yeah, Sax, we gotta learn more about your Hutchison effect experience, like just a random phenomenon that happened to your van.